All
Hello,
right. We
and
are.
welcome to Small Business Power,
Mhm.
the show that is all about the power that small business has to be and do the change that we want to see in the world. My name is Cheyenne Kramer. This is my better half.
Don Kramer. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. We're getting caught up on a lot of things, like what's around us. Ho,
That's
ho, ho.
right. Yes. Somebody's been decorating this morning. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
Yes, it's things have been so crazy for a while. I can't even believe it's like Christmas is how many days away? 12?
That's in 2 weeks.
12 days of Christmas.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
start singing.
Oh, no,
On
no,
the
no, no,
first
no,
day.
no. Don't do
Wow.
that. Denied.
I noticed that.
At any rate, we have a powerful topic to share with you today, and we're calling it the power of knowing your song. And some people might say, what do you mean? I'm talking about heart songs here, because there's lots of people. In fact, I believe everybody has one. But oh my goodness, in today's world, with all the craziness we're experiencing, all the things that are going on in our world, and God, not even being able to keep track that we're only 12 days away from Christmas, uh, you know, we sometimes forget to even check in with ourselves and see what's going on here. I mean, some people take their heart song and they stuff it in a closet.
Oh,
Isn't that awful?
don't do that.
Or they hide it under the bed.
Wow.
Or they just say, well,
Mm.
I ain't got anything like that. What are you talking about?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Absolutely. If you are walking on this planet, you have a purpose, you have a heart song. And the interesting thing is when all of a sudden, maybe you've been hiding it in the closet or under a bed. And all of a sudden, it decides to come out with a two by four and whack you upside the head.
Sometimes that's necessary.
Well, and it happens to too many of us,
Hmm.
me included.
Hmm.
But there's definitely power in it. I never forget one of my favorite stories, which actually spawned the creation of this program, of a lot of the classes and the coaching and that I do, was somebody who had a heart song around playing guitar and singing, but life got in the way. Spent so much time, on the hamster wheel at work, working and working and working and working, that he just didn't have the time to take that guitar out of the closet. And then all of a sudden, he gets laid off. He is not working, and 18 months of unemployment. 18 months. And this is somebody who's dealing in software. I mean, companies are always hiring people in software, right?
Yes.
So there wasn't any logic to this idea that he'd been unemployed for 18 months. But when we sat down and talked about it, and I said, what's in your heart? What's your passion? Is there something you have been hiding in the closet? And he kind of got upset with me because he thought I'd been spying in his closet or something.
You stalker, you.
I'm like, I don't know what's in your closet. I'm just asking. And he started immediately talking about his guitar. And the funny thing was that when he made a commitment to grab that guitar and haul it out of the closet, within days, he knew what he needed to do with it. He got ready to go and play at his church. He got permission from the minister to go and play at his church. And within 3 days of him doing that, all of a sudden he gets a call out of the blue from a company he never heard before, who was inviting him to an interview that day. And they made him a job offer on the spot. So I just want you to hear this because boy, sometimes when we're not listening to what's inside, when we're not paying attention, sometimes that can have some real painful consequences. Like, I don't know, getting a box dropped on your head in a grocery store.
Yes. You shouldn't do that.
It's true. But trauma of all kinds is sometimes what happens, whether that trauma is unemployment, whether that trauma is a car accident. God, I had one time in my life where I was going through a bunch of those. It was like something, my other self was trying so hard to get my attention, and I wasn't paying attention. Some people go through some massive chronic illness, some disastrous health crisis to get their attention. There's all kinds of things that can happen. Whereas, you might have this still small voice, but if you're not listening to it, it comes at you a little stronger and a little stronger all the time. And that's one of our missions is we want to see people identify that before it becomes extremely painful. I've seen more than one business that had a fair amount of success going on, and then something shifted. It may have been something externally that shifted, but in more cases than not, it can be something internal that gets shifted. And in that situation, you're being called to do something different in your job search, or in a business. And if you don't figure it out and you don't do it, income can kind of go boom, it can just stop. Glad that you're with us today, Darlene. And yeah, there's a lot of good books out there to help people kind of get tuned in to that quiet voice, because we need to be doing this more and more. I remember another gentleman who also had his income stopped, not through a business, but because he was afraid of starting one. That was another interesting situation. He had been unemployed for about 18 months, and he actually wanted to get involved in healthcare. He had a degree in the life sciences and he had never used it. And when he did his research on becoming a clinical research associate, he found out that many CRAs end up becoming independent contractors, which meant he would become a business owner. And that idea scared him so much that he kept running. And the more he ran, the longer he was in unemployment. But when he finally sat down and got honest with himself about what was in his heart, about wanting to contribute to the healthcare system, and he just kind of stood up one day and said, "You know what? I'm going to explore this further." And immediately all these things popped into his space, where within days of making that decision, he was signed up for a certification course at a local community college to teach him everything he needed to know to be hired as a CRA. And it was crazy. When I bumped into him a year later, he was working as a CRA, currently as an employee, but knowing that he may end up becoming an independent contractor, and he made peace with that idea. So that's the whole idea is, whether you're in job search, whether you're thinking about, or maybe you've already started a business, or maybe it's about the idea that you've been in business for a while and all of a sudden the income has slowed to a trickle when you were used to a waterfall, then there might be something that you need to be looking at in your heart and in your soul to figure out how to integrate your income streams with whatever your heart is calling you to do. And I've also referred to this as your subconscious mind. If you don't believe that your heart has power, if you don't think you've got a soul, let's talk about the subconscious. It's been recording everything you've done since the day you were born. And if there's something in your subconscious that has a strong emotional charge to it, it will command you to pay attention at some point in your life. So it's like you can struggle with it and you can keep getting hit with a bigger 2x4. Maybe eventually it'll become, I don't know, a log. a big tree log,
Right,
right?
well.
Yeah, exactly. So, stop putting yourself in a position to feel more pain and start listening